Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. It's Fatmata here from Traditionally Inspired Meaningful Art, and I'm so excited to have you here in my Veda series. We've been touching on all of the many art forms that I have loved, and in today's episode we are going to actually be talking about painting and paint parties. So let me tell you, painting is probably one of the most accessible forms of art. You can find little paint packets, of course, at the dollar store. You can find really inexpensive ones with a bit more quality at Michael's or any other craft store, but truly, there's nothing like that motion of physically putting paint down on a surface, and just experiencing it, seeing the colors blend together. It's really beautiful and often very accessible, whether through watercolor paintings and or like acrylics. Oftentimes oil is a little bit more, like you need a bit more space. You need to have the fumes not be inhaled as much. You need some ventilation. So I wouldn't necessarily say oil paintings, but absolutely watercolor and acrylic. And therefore, very early on, it just was a part of my multimedia artwork. I would use so many different paints within my mixed media pieces or just full-on paintings. And I really fell in love with it. In my early 20s, I explored a lot of different artistic forms, and painting just was, it was doable, it was easy. But it was also around the rise of like paint parties. I'm talking paint and sips, right? These sort of social gatherings where instead of going out to dance or going out to eat, we were bringing people together to explore creativity and to do something else. And I think it was just what I needed to do, what I wanted to be a part of. And I was so excited about it. I think the first big, like really large paint event that I ever hosted was for my 23rd or 25th birthday, possibly. And I hosted a paint party. So I got my friends and family, they got all together. I think I might have charged them a fee, but really it was for supplies because I didn't have enough supplies to like host a paint thing. I didn't have enough paintbrushes for everyone. But when it's your birthday, people would usually pay to like eat out, right, at a restaurant. So I figured, I won't charge you all a crazy amount. Being able to host that as my birthday, I knew people would come because like when people love you and they like you and it's your birthday, they show up. So I knew that it was kind of safe to pin it with my birthday, and it was such a beautiful showing of my friends and family who came together to really support me in this thing. And I hosted it. I was teaching them how to do a painting. I recorded myself prior to hosting that party because it was large. I think it was it was definitely over 30 people, I think. And it just was so overwhelmingly positive. Everyone walked away with a gorgeous piece of artwork. And I was like, there's something to this. All of these people from various levels of artistic practice, right, were able to come together and under my instruction walk away with something beautiful. That was a testament to what creativity, positive attitude, and breaking a large or scary piece into bite-sized chunks. There's so much power that can come from that. And I loved it. I was hooked from that moment. So I looked for other opportunities where I could host paint parties for individuals, for organizations, and I did. I worked with a number of folks who wanted to do at-home birthday parties and wanted to gather their friends together and do a paint night, and we did that. I hosted one in my own home for friends and family who wanted to do something like a sisters gathering, right? Just a whole bunch of women together and just celebrating. I also would host for corporate organizations like affinity groups and stuff like that who just wanted a nice alternative to a happy hour, and that was really fun. So I ended up with, incredible experiences and opportunities to bring joy into the lives of hopefully many, and it just felt so darn good. During the pandemic, my older brother wanted to surprise his wife with a paint and sip, and he and I worked together to sort of order all of the materials. He dropped off the boxes that I had prepared with the paint and all of the materials you needed to each of the participants. and we hosted it over Zoom, and they also walked away with a beautiful piece of art under my direction, and it just felt incredible. Again, it was like creativity, and it felt different and exciting and fun. And you start cracking jokes with your friends about how they're doing, how you're doing, but it's all in jest. It's lighthearted, it's fun. And that was awesome. And I bring the energy, folks. So I made sure that it felt really good, that it felt like a safe space to be silly and get creative, because that can be a daunting task to ask adults to paint when many of them hadn't held a paintbrush in ages, maybe decades, and they think and start to tell themselves they're not good at this. I can't paint. I don't know how to do this. And you have to keep reminding them to trust the process, listen to the next instruction, follow that and follow it well, and you are well on your way to doing it correctly. And sure enough, they were giggling and happy and excited, many times very enthusiastic that they had created something like that because they didn't think it was possible, and just overall really excited about it. So to say that paint parties and hosting and facilitating those is something I enjoy is really an understatement. Recently, I've had an opportunity to host one for my professional affiliate organization, and that was really awesome too. And hopefully I was able to get a photo, but I'll pop that in. It just brings me so much joy to bring others joy, contentment, enthusiasm for creativity, and to remind us as adults that we still are creative beings, even if you're not an artist, even if you're not a sewist or don't have a hobby that consistently requires you to be creative. I've seen people balance checkbooks and budgets in a way that for me, I'm like, that's creativity. I've seen people's organization skills and what they come up with and hacks that they do in their day-to-day lives that for me is inspirational and rings true to creativity, even if it's not artwork, right? And I just hope that more adults can see themselves and take that label of being creative as a badge of honor and stop trying to deflect it because we put a narrative in our minds that creativity means X, Y, or Z. And if our artwork or the things that we draw or the things that we make don't fit a certain mold, we completely count ourselves out. And I don't want that to be the case. If you're watching this, hopefully you know that you are creative, and if you are wavering on that or forgetting that in some ways, I'm here to tell you, you are a creative, and I hope that whatever your medium of choice is, you feel fulfilled in it. It brings you joy. Maybe it might spark joy for others, but so long as it serves you, gives you that quiet time or that really bright and bubbly time that you need, and you get that practice in and it's working on fulfilling something that's important for you, that's all that matters. And you are definitely a creative. I still love the idea of hosting paint parties and would love to do more in the future. I used to do them for like conferences and things like that, and I just absolutely adore it. But with COVID, everything kind of shut down and I haven't been able to. Listen, you let me know if you have a function that's happening in the DC, Maryland, and Virginia area and you need a paint host. But no, in all sincerity, it's just been such a fun ride. And I look back at the younger version of myself who said, I really want to do this. I don't know if people will show up, if people will come. But hey, yeah, let me do it for my birthday. And that sort of opened up and blossomed into a really long-standing love of not only facilitating, right, and bringing joy to people, but also maintaining my own artistic practice and teaching as well. Because it's a lot to take something that's a set piece, an image, and then break it down into very elementary sort of motions and next steps to say, just draw a circle. Folks are kind of okay if you just like draw a straight line from here to here. I have some people who are like, that straight line ain't gonna be that straight, but that's okay. That's okay. Give me what you got and I will work with you, right? And just keeping it lighthearted and keeping folks motivated is the thing I love most about it. But that is my sort of paint parties, painting sort of journey. And I hope that you've enjoyed learning a bit about that as well. And until next time, my friends, you stay creative. Bye-bye.